originated as a neutral term referring to black people, as a variation of the Spanish Portuguese noun Negro, as a descendant of the Latin adjective. Webster Dictionary first defined it as usually offensive, a black person, a member of any dark-skinned race, and the third definition for it was a member of a socially disadvantaged class of persons. I looked up an Urban Dictionary, and there are a lot of personal definitions of the term. One of my favorite was a word if I said it, pardon my language, I'll get my ass kicked. Now, the historical uses of the word. In the 1500s to the 18th century, the term Negro refers to a black person of ancestry or appearance. The term was originally used by Portuguese as a description to refer to certain people of African descent. By the 1970s, the term Negro was unfavorable during the Civil Rights Movement. But older African Americans preferred the term Negro because it was less offensive than black. The term Negro has continued to be used by historical African American orgs and institutions. An example is the United Negro Fund. And Negro is also acceptable in historical texts, as well as, I don't know if anyone has ever paid attention to the census and saw the word. There's a reason why too. We'll get to that. Now the term, I use the historical. I'm telling you guys the historical use of the word, but there's actually a difference in the use of the word in the north, south, east, and west of the word nigger. Now, in the northern, eastern part of the United States, the term nigger is usually used negatively unless there's a positive context to it. My nigga would be used to say a pal, friend, or buddy. This nigga would be used to say this person guy, or any curse word to substitute a person in a negative connotation. However, in the northeastern part of the United States, it is not seen as a positive term at all. Most people use the word, are usually viewed as poor-mannered. In the southern west coast parts of the world, the term nigga is usually used in casual talk. Similar to the north, however, the term is used more casually than often. Many from the south rather be called a Negro instead of black or African American. Who's ever seen the film Red Tails? It's about the Tuskegee Airlift. Who remembers the scene, the actor Neil, I don't know his name, when he says, oh, the color, one of the guys is talking to him, and he's like, oh, you know, we didn't know you guys were colored. He stopped him and he said, don't call me colored. I'm a Negroid. Now, the term Negroid was used by racial anthropologists when choosing to identify between, you know, Negroid features and other different races and stuff. Overall, one thing can be agreed amongst all cultures that the term should not be definitely used by people who are not checking off black African American on a job application. An example, who watches The View? A popular topic they like bringing up, if someone slips up or says the N-word, they will talk about it. Now, Sherry Shepherd and Barbara Walters, who knows who they are, they got into it. Whoopi Goldberg said the word, and Barbara Walters said the word. Sherry Shepherd said, you see, when you say it, Whoopi, I'm fine with it. However, Barbara, whether you say it with an E-A or an E-R or an A, I still feel like you're saying it with the E-R. It's no offense to you, very nice person, it's nothing offended, it's just the fact that you're saying it. All three of them went back and forth about the history of the word, and Whoopi Goldberg said that our new generation is starting to accept it more and letting everyone say it. But there's more meaning to the word. And it's getting abused because it's just, there's so many things rooted towards the word. It's just anyone saying it around anyone is highly inappropriate and offensive. In our generation, I don't know if anyone would know Paul Mahoney. He was famous, one of the first famous comedians to start using the term nigga please. I know you guys have probably heard it before. It was basically jokes about black people, and the term is heavily used by comedians such as Kevin Hart and Chris Rock. Now, Paul Mahoney, recently, and Jesse Jackson are both speaking against speaking against the N-word and trying to call the N of the N-word. Now, Chris Rock, I mentioned earlier that how up north, usually that term is used for, to insult people. And Chris Rock is from Brooklyn, New York. He has a routine that he does during his shows that's niggas versus black people. And he defines a nigga as a low expectation having MF from a black person's point of view. Now, a person who would be for saying nigga is the infamous Tupac. Who knows who Tupac is? Who's ever seen any documents for him explaining what he feels about the word? Have you seen it? He said, I'm quoting him, "Niggas was the ones on the rope, hanging off the thin. Niggas is the one with gold ropes, hanging out in the clubs." That's his view, nigger versus nigga. Now, sister, brother, sister have all the same meanings. Why is it that if we put ER and A, that's all of a sudden a difference? It's not. It's the same exact thing. However, I'm 100% sure Tupac would agree that if someone else of an outside race that was not African American or of African descent, he'd be offended. Who knows about Quentin Tarantino? Who's seen Django? And he has other films where he uses the term. He has had multiple interviews whereas he speaks about the word and he says that we give it too much power by not saying it. And that then he also says that if he took out the term in any of his films, he would not be showing the real root or history of anything that he's displaying in the film. The word holds depth in our history. The word Negro turned the term nigger, and now popularity term used nigga. Avoiding the use of the word does not make it more powerful than it really is. The word indicates a color. The original use of the term meant nothing but a color, and has gone back and forth between being positive and negative. Keep in mind that people considered themselves these terms because they were taught that they were not the same only because of their skin color. The term is being considered highly condescending to a majority of black, African American, and many Afro-Latino cultures. Historically, the word should not disappear, but the misuse of the word has such an impact on the people that if someone they are not familiar with or is not of African American descent says it, it can cause an issue. The word has been dragged and become too popular in our society that it is usually used to offend someone or for just casual talk. All words are created for a purpose and should be remembered. However, some terms belong in history and only in history. The term was created to separate us by color. There is no use of the word in our generation anymore.